was a lazy evening after returning back to campus when Van found herself laying on her bed, scrolling through her phone. She had just bought a set of new and was feeling confident for once. In a mischievous mood, she decided to send her best friend Sara a picture of her latest purchases. Sara had always been supportive, especially when it came to fashion, and Van couldn't wait to hear her friend's opinion. Vine stared at her phone, biting her lip nervously as she selected the photo she wanted to send to Sarah. She had never sent anything like this before, and she hoped Sarah will give her the reassurance she was craving because she was the one who insisted Vine to bought something bold. Should I do it? Vine thought, her heart racing in her chest. Yeah, why not? She murmured as she pressed send before she could think any further, and a few seconds later, her phone buzzed with a notification. It was Sarah's response. It was just a ping from her phone, telling her she had a new message. Van opened it. Oh, you are looking gorgeous, darling. Her heart dropped into her stomach. She knew Sarah well enough to know that her friend will not phrase it like that. She will only ever hear Sarah use playful, supportive words when complimenting her. But this was different. She again read it. Vine's face turned beet red as she thought Sarah was just being mischievous today and complimenting her like that. Vine chuckled, looking at her pictures with a shy smile. A nervous laugh escaped her lips as she sat up. What the hell is going on? She whispered to herself, thinking about Sarah teasing her. Just then her phone buzzed again, and without thinking, she tapped on the screen to see a new notification from Sarah's number. What's wrong, darling? Afraid to take a compliment from Jungkook. Now Jungkook mentioned himself without thinking twice. He wanted to let her know he is the one who saw her photos. Her heart pounded in her chest. She stared at the message, completely caught off guard. What the hell is he doing? Why is he using Sarah's phone? She thought, her eyes wide. Jungkook had been pacing around the house, his mind constantly occupied by his work. Being the Mafia King came with its fair share of responsibilities, but tonight he was home. As he sat down on the couch, he noticed the screen of the phone was lighting up. Notification kept coming in, and with nothing better to do, he reached over and grabbed it. He figured it might be one of her friends texting Sarah, or maybe she had a boyfriend. So he swept through the messages without thinking twice. And then it happened. He came across one message that instantly caught his attention. It was from none other than Vian. Curiously, Jungkook clicked on the message as he stared at the photo of her in his breath caught in his thread. His initial reaction was one of surprise, followed quickly by intrigue. Damn, she looks incredible. Jungkook's breath hitched as he stared at her photo. Despite being a man who usually controlled his emotions, couldn't stop himself from admiring the image. His finger hovered over the keyboard as his eyes traced the photo again, feeling his pulse quicken. He didn't know why he couldn't resist, but the flood in him took over. He typed out a message without thinking, the word flowing naturally. Oh, you are looking gorgeous, darling. As soon as the message was sent, Jungkook leaned back into the couch. His smile grew wider. I wonder how she will respond to that, he thought. And when Ryan didn't respond after seeing the message, he again texted her with his name, asking her what's wrong or she didn't like the compliment. Meanwhile, Ryan stared at her phone in disbelief. Jungkook's message was still there, and her heart was now racing faster than before. She could not believe he had seen her picture. No, no, no. She quickly glanced around her room, feeling a mix of embarrassment and confusion. She thought it was a harmless message to Sarah, but how Jungkook had seen it, and that sent her spiraling into panic. Before she could process what had just happened, her phone buzzed again with a video call. She glanced down at the caller ID and it was showing Sarah's name. Thinking it was Sarah calling her back after taking her phone from Jungkook, Ryan took a deep breath and answered the call. But the moment the call connected, her blood ran cold. Instead of Sarah's face on the screen, it was Jungkook, his dark, intense gaze fixed right on her. His lips curled into a mischievous smile as he leaned back, his dark, intimidating persona radiating off of him. Well, hello there, he said in his deep voice, the tone dripping with amusement. His gaze flickered over her, but his eyes didn't leave hers for a moment, while Vine's heart was in her throat. She felt like the ground had slipped from under her feet. Her brain couldn't process what was happening. Jungkook, she stammered, her eyes wide mouth hanging open while Jungkook, lounging casually on the couch, stared back at her, grinning like he had just won a prize. His eyes sparkled with amusement as he leaned forward, clearly enjoying her reaction. Jungkook's smirk deepened as he leaned back, cooking his head. What's wrong, Mayan? Surprised to see me? His tone was playful, teasing her like he always did when she came over to study at Sara's. She quickly ended the call, her face turning 50 shades of red. No, no way, she whispered, frantically tapping her phone, trying to regain control. What just happened? She whispered and closed her eyes, cursing herself under her breath in embarrassment. After a few moments, she typed out a message, her fingers trembling. What are you doing with Sarah's phone? She asked in the message and sent it, her heart pounding in her chest. While Jungkook smirked to himself when he saw Ryan's message pop up. He knew she would be embarrassed. Hell, he was counting on it. His reputation as the Mafia king had always been intimidating to most people, but Ryan was different. She was innocent, shy in a way that made him want to see her. Without hesitation, he hit the voice note button and leaned in close to the phone. Well, Ryan, it looked like your picture was too irresistible to ignore. He let out a small laugh, as though amused by his own teasing. And as for Sarah's phone, it was laying there on the table alone, buzzing with notification. And then I saw your message and thought, I will see what all the fuss was about. I have got to say, you have got my attention, and I couldn't resist. I mean, you look absolutely gorgeous. How could I not say something? She paused for a moment, letting the tension build, before adding in a quieter, almost seductive tone. You really should stop hiding such beauty, darling. It will be a crime. Jungkook sent the voice note again. While Vian's finger hovered over her phone as she listened to the voice note, his words sent a shiver down to her spine, and she couldn't bring herself to respond immediately. She knew Jungkook had always been teasing, always playing around, but this was something else. His words had an intensity to them, something raw and real that she wasn't used to. Vine stared at her phone in disbelief, her heart still racing. She was mortified. She wanted to respond, but her fingers trembled too much to type. Instead, she just let out a frustrated sigh and shoot back one last message. You are a pervert, a shameless one. She sent the message before she threw her phone on her bed, covering her face with her hands as she let out an exasperated groan. What is wrong with me? What have I done? Why does he have such an effect on me? She whispered, yell. Vine didn't dare to touch her phone again as she was feeling too embarrassed. She didn't try to contact with Sara as she thought, what if again Jungkook attend her call or respond to her messages? She barely slept as whenever she was closing her eyes, only Jungkook's face flushed with a mischievous smirk. The next day, Mayan was still trying to process the events that had unfolded. Her mind was in complete chaos. She barely got through her classes, each minute ticking by in a haze. Afterwards, she met up with Sara on campus to talk. But the second they sat down, Mayan's face was still flushed, and Sara noticed it immediately. Mayan, Sara began a slight grin, tugging at her lips. What happened? You are acting weird. Mayan looked at her and slumped her shoulders. Sarah, it was terrible. Jungkook saw my pictures I sent to you. He replied to it, and then he called me from your phone and I thought it was you. I attended it. I couldn't even process it before I ended the call. She said in one breath while Sarah's eyes widened in surprise. Wait, what? He called you? She asked in surprise while Ryan nodded miserably. It's driving me crazy, Sarah. Why the hell you left your phone? She asked in annoyance while Sarah scratched her neck. I was with mom. She was showing me her shopping. You know how much I like shopping. I forgot my phone on the living room, she said while Ryan rolled her eyes. Wine, I think Jungkook's like you. Sarah leaned in closer, her voice lowering as if telling a secret. Wine froze, blinking rapidly in disbelief. What? She asked, her voice almost a whisper. I'm serious, Sarah continued, her eyes lighting up. The way he teases you, how he looks at you, it's obvious. I have seen it. I think he is into you. Wine's breath caught in a thread. Jungkook likes me, Wine thought. Before Ryan could even fully process Sarah's words, she felt a tap on her shoulder. She turned around to find Jungkook standing there, his tall figure intimidating as always, his eyes locking onto hers with a playful yet intense gaze. Hey Ryan, he said smoothly, his voice carrying the weight of both authority and charm. I was thinking of taking you somewhere. I know you are nervous but care to join me for dinner? He asked while Ryan's heart skipped a beat. and she could feel Sarah's eyes burning into the back of her head. What, dinner with you? Why? Vine stammered while Jungkook smirked as if he was enjoying her flustered reaction. Yes, with me, don't worry, he added, his tone lowering, almost seductive. I will be a gentleman. I will make sure you enjoy yourself, he said while Vine could barely speak, but Sarah's teasing voice broke through her thoughts. Vine, you should go. I think he is serious. Who knows, he might propose you. She whispered the last sentence in excitement while Jungkook glanced at Sarah, giving her a quick nod of approval before looking back at Vine. So, what do you say? He asked as Vine took a deep breath, feeling her stomach do flips. Okay, I will go, she finally said, surprised by the way her voice came out. She glanced up at him. But I'm warning you, I'm a terrible date if you tease me about last night, she said, glaring at him while Jungkook raised an eyebrow, his grin widening. We will see about that, darling. I'm looking forward to it, he said while Vine glanced at Sarah. Please join us, she murmured, not knowing. Jungkook signaled Sarah to refuse going with them. Why I have assignment to submit. You guys enjoy, bye. She quickly walked away from there after making an excuse while Ryan gulped. She was nervous, but now she also wanted to know if Jungkook really likes her. Jungkook had always been an enigma to Ryan. Whenever she visited Sara for a study session, he would be lurking in the background, teasing her with his playful remarks and charming smile. Ryan tried to hide her flustered reaction, but it was always get harder and harder. She had caught herself staring at him more than once, and deep down she knew he was different from the rest. Sarah, on the other hand, always seemed to be aware of this underlying chemistry. Though Vine was too shy to admit it, Sarah had a little hunch that Jungkook liked her, but Vine, being a ball of nervous, had yet to find the courage to act on her feelings. But today Sarah told Vine what she feels and it come out true. Maybe Jungkook really want to confess. The thought kept running in Vine's mind as they both headed out together. Later at the restaurant, Maya's heart was hammering against her chest. She tried to keep calm, but Jungkook was so easy to talk to, and the way he looked at her made her pulse race. As they sat down at the table, Jungkook leaned forward, his gaze locked onto hers. While he began softly, his voice sincere, I know I have teased you a lot, but there is something I need to say. I have liked you for a while now. I have been trying to figure out how to tell you, but I couldn't wait any longer, he said, his eyes fixed on her while Vine's eyes widened. You like me? She whispered, her heart skipped a bit while Jungkook smiled. His smile was warm, genuine. Yeah, I do, and I want you to know that no matter what, I am not going anywhere. I like you more than just a friend, Vine. So will you like to go on another date with me? He asked, looking at her playing with her fingers in nervousness as he finished speaking. Yes, she managed, her voice barely above a whisper as Jungkook grinned, his eyes lighting up with happiness. Good, because this is just a beginning, he said while Vine blushed, looking away that made Jungkook chuckle. He softly held her hand in his. I love you, Vine, and I am happy that you accepted my request and gave me a chance, he said while Vine nodded, the smile never leaving her lips. Well, about yesterday, I impressed, huh? You were looking incredible. I couldn't stop myself rewatching your pictures, he said in teasing tone, mid Vian cheeks red in embarrassment. Jungkook, you are shameless. She whined and looked away when Jungkook laughed, her hand still in his hand as he gave a gentle squeeze. I am, but only for you, and now I can be perfect because you are my girl, he said while smirking and winked at Vian that made her giggle. And just like that, the teasing, the flirting, and the uncertainty was replaced by something more, something real.